All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome in, Baseball and Coffee. I didn't want to wear my hat. My hair's a mess, so we're rocking it. Hope everybody's doing good. Another beautiful day here. It is Wednesday, April 1st. We made it to April. Crazy we've had so much baseball. We haven't been in April yet, but we made it to April 1st. We're off and running. Season in full swing. A lot of good pitching performances yesterday. A lot of different things going on. Yeah, I see this is working pretty well. The welcome messages. Thanks, Spectre. When I posted the painter video last night, I saw that there was an alert as well to that. So Andrew Painter did make his debut yesterday. I made a little video on it. I thought he was really good. Thought he was awesome. We'll talk about him in a minute. But we have other things to do. Talk me off the ledge. I'm a Mets fan. I mean, you have a winning record through 5 games. You're not hitting, but it's the beginning of the season. It's to be expected. I don't know. It's too early to make any judgments. I know people are mad about Lovelady or whatever, but I have to do a little more investigation on that before I think anything of it. All right, let's get into it. We'll get to Painter in a minute. Let me get over to our standings. As we sit here today on April 1st. All right, Jays and Yanks both 4-1 in the AL East. Orioles 2-3, Rays 2-3, Sox 1-4. So you want to talk me off the ledge, Enzo. People are from the Red Sox nation are not very happy right now as we start off this season. In the Central, we got a couple 500 teams, Kansas City and Cleveland. Detroit 2-3, Minnesota 1-3. White Sox got on the board with a win. Finally, they are 1-4. Rangers 4-1 start off the season. Houston 4-2. Angels 3-3. Mariners 3-3. A's got a W. They are 1-4. Marlins 4-1. Nats and Mets and Braves 3-2. Phillies 2-3. Milwaukee 4-1. Reds and Cards 3-2. Pirates and Cubbies 2-3. In the West, Dodgers 4-1. Giants 2-3, D-backs 2-3, Padres and Rockies both 1-4. So that's where we're standing at the moment. Let's go look at our first guy today. It's going to be Andrew Painter. He made his debut. I talked about him yesterday, in the video that I made, but there's a couple key points to highlight. And now I finally did find his stuff grades, which of course I couldn't find in the moment. Everything was not loading. But look. Stuff grades be damned, and you'll see when I look at it, I thought his stuff looked really good, especially his breaking ball package. And I like the shape of his fastball, despite you're going to see that stuff metrics don't. I mean, I think it's a useful shape, particularly when the lineup's stacked left-handed, which is what he had yesterday. Anyway, he ends up going 5 1/3 in his debut, 4 hits, 1 run. It was the runner he left out there that got cashed in by Banks. 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. It was basically ahead in the count the whole time, especially early. We've been waiting a long time to see this dude. 6'7", only 22, 23 years old now. Came up at 19 or 20, but Tommy John got in the way. So last night, he did lean on his 4-seamer, 34 of those. It's important to note that he only had 1 righty in the lineup. It was all lefties. So if he faces more righties, the mix will change a little bit in terms of percentages. But yeah, 4-seam fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. He did throw a few sinkers to the righty, of course, and then the sweepers. He threw a couple of those too. Sweeper's a weird pitch for him because it's a very similar break to the curveball, just with a little bit more left on it. You look at his curveball shape right here, -9 and 9. And then you look at the sweeper shape, 2 and 16. At times, he threw a couple sweepers that had much more break than that. Actually averaged -2 yesterday. So again, it had dropped to it, but also went left quite a bit. Here were the stuff grades, which I just was looking at right before we started the show. TJ Stuff does not like either of his fastballs at all. 4-seam, give it a 96 grade. Sinker, give it an 85 grade. I don't really care about the sinker grade because it's not a primary pitch. He's only going to throw it to righties early in the count, or, you know, as a way to not be so predictable with his shape when he throws all four-seamers. But he's got plenty of velocity. The four-seam shape, I'm surprised to see that it's a 96 grade. I mean, 16.1 IVB is not horrible, but I mean, I guess it's not great considering his arm angle, 43 degrees. 3.4 inches horizontal, so that's some perceived cut. It's no level of extreme cut. I'm sure if that was a negative number, the thing would grade a little bit higher, but when you watch it, you'll see he kind of owns that up and in quadrant to lefties with his fastball. He did a really good job throwing a lot of fastballs in that area. And you can kind of see it here on the pitch plot. It's all these red dots in this up, like this quadrant on the inside corner being the one on my right here. I don't know if you guys can tell. I guess if you're looking at the screen, it's on the right. It's all these little red pinkish dots. He threw a ton of those in on the, like, kind of inner third, at least inner third on lefties. Even the ones right above the zone are really quality. And he didn't, if you notice, he didn't leave any of his four-seamers, like, not many of them right down the middle and none middle away. So he knew what to do with his fastball shape. You know, it's not just about the raw movement of your pitches. It's also about kind of about how you use it. So we can hop into this game a little bit. I mean, I have a whole video on it, but he was really good. I mean, he really was. I don't know what else to say. He threw a lot of really nice backdoor sliders in this game. Hold on, I'm looking for a good example here. Here's a Luis Garcia fastball that gets rolled over. See, it's kind of middle in. Guys were kind of coming up around it. CJ, I want to say there's another one here that he might beat with a guy. This is a curveball. There's a foul ball. Oh, yeah, he threw two really good ones in on CJ here. This is right. Okay, so the 0-1 goes in. Perfect pitch. I mean, look at that location. So it's the combination of location and like the shape of the pitch. It's not just one or the other. See? So you're going to keep lefties honest. Like, that ball's boring in on the hands. They don't get the barrel to it. And it's fast. You're going to have to try to speed up to beat him to the spot. And then that allows him to throw some really nice curveballs. He threw some really nice curveballs in this game. Let's see this one to Nasim Nunez. Yeah, it's really good. And again, like, whenever you see these guys with these high releases, they're going to be able to get nice chase below the zone. The ball comes out on a high level. So when you're throwing high fastballs, you know, it's not that far off in that initial tunnel. And then you're going to be able to get below the zone because you have a lot of vertical separation. So, you know, it's perfect execution. It's perfect game planning given his stuff. You know, and it was interesting to watch him and JT work together, considering this was his debut, but you know that he's caught him over the years now a little bit. The previous version, before the Tommy John, probably a little bit in spring training, and then definitely this year they had him catch him quite a bit in spring training, and I thought that was very important, you know, going forward here. All right, here's a run of strikeouts. This first one's on a changeup. This was a really good, it kind of worked out as kind of like a front door sinker. And what was interesting also to see is he didn't even really use his changeup till second time through. So I like the fact that he had another answer as the game moved on. It wasn't just one thing or another. And then here's another beautiful back foot breaking ball to the dirt. So, I mean, you know, he's got good stuff, like, no doubt. I mean, it's kind of crazy that the stuff numbers don't jump off the page because in my mind, I think of him as having plus stuff across the board, but I guess that's just the nature of what the major leagues is now. Like, as nasty as it is, we've seen quite a bit of this now.
Swing and a miss, 6 strikeouts.
Slider strikeout there. Nunez, this was a great changeup right here. Literally made the batter smile and bend the knee. So, I mean, he showed really well. He struck guys out with breaking balls, changeups, fastballs. I mean, this is a great reaction. When you get this reaction from a hitter, I mean, you know you did something. So, anyway, he did a great job. Here's him blowing away James Wood, getting the chase way above the zone. So he kind of like combines all the elements that you wanted to see, and he came out poised. Didn't look like the moment was too big for him. Philly's got to be excited about this one. This guy adds some upside to their team 100%. And we'll just to see where he goes from, where he goes from here. What does he look like versus more righty-filled lineup? Can he execute like this all the time? I think that was the biggest thing that I noticed. He just really executed well. And that can cover up a lot of things. Like, to me, it made his stuff look incredible. But I guess if you're missing down the middle, that's when you might find out a little bit more. Anyway, here were the actual stuff grades. It really likes his slider and sweeper. I think the curveball's great too. I'm surprised it only had a 100 stuff grade here. But you know what? Again, like, the thing about this stuff, it's nice to look at it, but at the end of the day, when you watch the guy pitch, you get a much better sense of, the swings don't lie. The swings don't lie. There was no good swings. Only one hard contact the whole game versus the Nats. So I'm pretty excited for Painter. Good, big move for the Phillies. They needed something new to come to this roster. I know that Adolis Garcia is part of that. Brad Keller out in the bullpen, but Painter as well. These are the type of things that will separate their roster from last year into this year. So wanted to point that out. He's the first guy to look at. I really liked him a lot. I thought he was really, really impressive yesterday. So if you want to watch the whole video, it's up on my channel. Okay. Yep. Great to see the family cheering him on the stands. Always a great moment. I remember, in my debut, people saying, you really have to enjoy it. You only get one of these. You only get one of these. And it's true. So no matter what, people are always going to circle back. Hey, what was your debut? How did that go? And, family was there. They had a freaking blast. This was a out-of-body experience, really, really good. Really, really cool. And obviously, if they can get Zach Wheeler back, then now they'll be really cooking with gas with 5 starters they really like. So I think, if you're a Phillies fan, this is definitely a reason to be optimistic for sure. A lot of good young players coming up in the big leagues right now. Is Painter's fastball less explosive before Tommy John? I keep hearing that it's not the same weapon that it was. Yeah, so the shape pre-Tommy John, from what I remember, was a lot more of your traditional ride four-seamer. Really high vert, more of a normal profile. This has more of a perceived cut profile, so the active spin on his fastball is definitely down. We're not going to have a full breakdown of that yet, maybe. Let me go look if I can see if Savant has any breakdown on how much he's getting through his pitches. But I don't think it's up there yet. It hasn't. Yeah, this is his Savant page, so you can see it. It's pretty rudimentary. There's no info. But anyway, I mean, so I'm just looking at his grades over the years here, looking through this. 2022, he was given a 60 fastball grade. And then he jumped up to a 70 fastball grade in 2023. Because 2022 was like his sick year where he absolutely dominated. But then he got hurt a little bit. And now he's got a different fastball. But, we just won't know the long-term effect of it yet. But in a way, I mean, it didn't hurt him yesterday. It looked pretty good to me. So I'm not 100% sure about the fastball shape or what the goal is here. But again, like, if he can locate up in with the lefties with this shape, he's going to have a lot of success. And he's going to come up with a pretty good formula to face these guys. Versus righties, we'll see. But we only saw one righty. He definitely went to the sinker a little bit more. I'm curious to watch him as he goes forward, but there's more than enough to work with here. You should be able to definitely get outs with this stuff. How much does sticky stuff ban also play in? No way of really knowing that. I mean, don't know what he was using before or after. I mean, I just don't know. There's too much information that we don't know. I think that definitely, though, before, like, if you're going to throw a traditional four-seam with incredible backspin, that's where spin rate could really level up how much, ride you were getting or how little the ball was dropping on the way to the plate. So, through that effort, yes, the sticky stuff made a big difference. It's just hard to tell now. I know people are doing something sometimes, but there's not as much egregious stuff in the game anymore. All right, so we want to move forward. Let's see who we're going to jump into next. I think it should be Senga. I didn't get a good look at this, so I'm going to go break down Senga. We'll watch him, and we'll take a look. You know, I've said it before. I'll say it again right now. Senga has the best stuff on the Mets, especially, well, not better than McLean, but he's got the best stuff on the Mets other than that, and he's had it for a few years in terms of the ability to touch close to triple digits with the fastball, create pretty much any shape he wants, and then he also has just a silly out pitch in the ghost fork. So it's all been there in front of him. What gets in the way is doesn't throw strike one enough, definitely gets in his own head a lot, thinks about mechanics a lot. I think sometimes struggles to know kind of how to go about it versus these hitters. But I think he came back with a much better mindset into spring training. The reports were great throughout spring. So I'm curious to watch him truck the rock this year. And I'm kind of glad that the Mets hung on to him because the upside's so high. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. Strikeouts are never going to be a problem for Kodai. Once he gets to 2 strikes, he's one of the best in the business. 7 hard hit balls. The Mets do lose mainly because they don't hit. They don't hit against Palante, Graceffo, Stanek, Jojo Romero, or Riley O'Brien. All right, Senga's breakdown. 36 fastballs, 24 cutters. Cutter's an important pitch for Senga because it's a pitch that he can throw strikes with for the most part. I will say that. And in his rookie season, that was the pitch with the most run value. So pay attention to his cutter. Goes fork, he threw 15 of those. 10 sweepers, 3 sinkers, 3 sliders, and a curveball for good measure. Looks like he faced a little bit more lefty than righty, threw a few more pitches versus lefties and righties, but a relatively balanced lineup from the right-left perspective. Let's see, plate discipline. Only 41% zone rate, but still was able to get 61% strikes because he did generate 31% chase. Got 44% chase on his fastball yesterday, which is kind of odd. First pitch strikes, okay. He could still be a lot better. Looks like he was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of 14, 17, 19, 25. 14 of 25. Not good enough on the first pitch strike, so we'll still continue to work on that. But anyway, let's get into it a little bit. So Mets and Cards, 2 teams I played for. Cardinals are doing a little bit of a rebuild, but it doesn't mean they don't have any young talent. Like they do. They have plenty of young talent. So, all right, Senga, first batter of the game is Weatherholt. Goes with the backdoor cutter on 3-2, and the rookie gets a hit. All right, second batter is going to strike out Yohan Herrera with a split. It's pretty devastating. Let me see how he got there. Let's watch this whole at bat. All right, 96-4. Ball 1. Cutter right here. Top shelf, drop it in. Slider off of that. Cutter to slider. Everybody does it. Gets the swing and miss. And then whenever he's at 2 strikes, they're going to go right to the ghost fork. And you can see, like, it's a wipeout pitch. It's very similar to, you know, what Sasaki has going on, what Fernando Cruz has going on. This one has a little more spin. Like, he actually, like, kind of reverse gyros it. And that's why I think it might be even harder to identify than those others, because it has a little more spin, so there's less wobble to the spin, giving the batter a visual cue. But that execution, that's going to punch everybody out. All right, third batter of the game is Burleson, and it's a walk. This is another part of the Kodai issue, is when he's not on, there's a bit of walking, there's a bit of lapses in command from time to time. Hayati. All right, and now he gets Mason Wynn, who decides to bunt for some reason. Kodai, tremendous defense. Should never really bunt on a Japanese pitcher. They literally have done the most PFPs of any subset of cultures ever. The Japanese are the most fundamental. They grew up learning the fundamentals better than anybody. And look, like, he's just on this ball. No hesitation, straight to third. Bichette has to cover third, makes the play. Not sure what the idea was here, but kind of gives him a free out there, so we'll take it. And first and second, 2 outs, and he's going to get a 1-pitch out to Gorman. Now, I'm not sure what this is. It says sinker at 91. But I don't understand why he would throw a sinker at 91 here. This is a little bit of a mystery pitch. Doesn't look like a fork, so maybe it is a sinker. Maybe he just goes BP sinker here. Either way, it gets Gorman out front. Almost plays like a changeup. And it's popped out. All right, second inning. First up, Jordan Walker. He's going to punch him out on a fastball, 98-8. So that's the velo that, you know, he can do. He's one of the few guys that can go to this level when needed. So that's a very good sign. And my number one thing for Kodai is just throw, man. Just throw the shit out of it. See the target, throw the shit out of it. Don't think as much. Your stuff is unbelievable. Yeah, doors up top again. See you later, Church. And then he's going to strike another guy out with a fastball. So 3 strikeouts with fastballs here in the second. That's a very good sign for Kodai. Also ripping an 18 ball here. That's quite a bit of IVB for Senga, so that's beautiful. So this is a really good four-seam. They should definitely encourage him to let it eat out there. Don't try to be so perfect all the time. All right, so punches the side in the second with fastballs. Third inning. At least Robert gets burned here a little bit by Victor Scott. 103.8 at 18. I don't know. Did he misjudge that a little bit? Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit of a step in. Right there. Before retreating and just missing it. So, you know, in this spot, Kodai's just trying to get strike one here. You know, sometimes you get burned. Little double, little leadoff double, no big deal. And then he's going to get a second hit to Weatherholt here. So Weatherholt hit a backdoor cutter and a fastball. Let's watch this hold at bat, because Weatherholt I'm very curious about. One of the among this crop of young rookie hitters that are kind of bursting on the scene here. All right, 2-0. Going to go to a 2-0 cutter here. That's a weird swing, kind of on an auto swing there from Weatherholt, and then the fastball. Guess they were trying to go up with it, kind of misses middle. This guy's known to be a hitter. Like, he can hit. Little line drive to center. So that did not score the run, but it did make it first and third. Bad throw there? Did he get to second? Yeah, bad throw here. Good fundamentals by the Cardinals. So Robert already with two kind of early mistakes in this inning. Airmails the cutoff man here. That allows the runner to move to second. Great base running by Weatherholt. Great base running. Never hesitated. Never hesitated at all. Really good base running here. This is very heads up. He's watching the ball, and he just takes off as soon as he sees that throw trajectory go high. So really good job by him. Second and third now. Hangs the slider. That's going to be the first 2 runs of the game. So, what did he get beat with in this inning so far? He got beat with a first pitch hit of the inning that Robert probably could have made the play, and then he got beat with a hanging slider here. What was the sequence here? First pitch heater. He's late on that. They should have stuck with that. Instead, they see he's late, and then they kind of speed his bat up. Plus, this just catches too much plate. This is a situation where you have to nibble a little bit. You can't just like come right down the middle 0-1. You have count leverage, you have an open base, you have 2 guys on that can score. So a little bit of a misjudgment there, but Weatherholt has been a thorn in the side, and then the defense didn't really help him either. All right, now he's going to get a 1-pitch out. This time he goes right to the fork ball. 0-0. You don't see a lot of that, but I think that's what he should do in bigger spots. Like, just go right to it, especially when you don't have to throw a strike. So he pops that one up, and then he's going to get out of it with the fork ball as well. So fork ball is the get-out-of-jail-free card. He just has to get in good counts to throw it. He's got the same issue as Sasaki and everybody else, where it's a little harder to throw it behind in the count. He can do it at times, but it's not really what he wants to do. So anyway, just understand that. And then the third inning, he gets out of it with this backdoor cutter, ground ball to Semien. So that's the end of the third. Out for the fourth, Jordan Walker. Cutter popped up.
Walker skies it toward left center.
Yeah, Robert had a tough inning right there. There's no way around it. I think he's a really good defender. But that was a tough inning, especially the throw. Like, I get... Oh, nice forkball there. I understand a little bit, you know, getting burned by the line drive. Like, that's just a bad read. That's more of a physical error than a mental error. Just a bad read. Like, just made a bad read. That happens. Bad reads happen. But the throw home doesn't make a lot of sense, and it put the Cardinals in a good spot. Not that it would have mattered with the next double, but not great. And then a one pitch out on a fastball located down and away. You see, teams are going to be aggressive against Kodai because they know they're in deep shit with 2 strikes. So, I don't think he pitched poorly in this inning. I think there was... It's just the one at-bat with Herrera that I don't love, and then he missed the one pitch to Weatherholt. So, you know, you can't quibble over 2 pitches. It happens. All right, on to the next inning. Victor Scott, another first pitch attack, this time by Victor Scott, but in this case, he lines it right to Robert on a first pitch sweeper. So that's what happens. Like, the first pitch is such a gambit. You got nobody on, nobody out. Fast guy up at the plate, Victor Scott. You can't walk him. You don't want to waste your pitches on him. You don't want him to get out there and, you know, steal bases. You want to take the chance to get the one pitch out, so you got to attack the zone. And one time it ended in a double, and one time it lined out to center for an out. So, you know, that's just baseball. All right, Weatherholt again. This time he's going to get him with 98. Off the plate away. See you later. So, good pitch there. And then here's a walk of Herrera, 3-1 forkball. So didn't want to give in to the guy who doubled off him before. And then another walk here to Burleson. And this is why he struggles to go deep in the game sometimes. Just like he will go through these stretches where it's really long counts. And his style becomes a little passive. Really nice play by Lindor here. This is why Lindor gets the big bucks. You can it's everything, but it's like this is such a clutch play. You need this out so bad to cut this inning down. It goes right in front of the runner. He fields it on a backhand. Bo is kind of in his way, but he has the presence of mind to see it. See how he gets through this grounder? I mean, he catches that in the heel, but he knows what to do, and then he throws off the wrong foot like it's second nature. So, you know, we talked a little bit in the past about Dansby Swanson's one of the better shortstops, saying that every kid should just be given a glove and be challenged to field every ball in the run from shortstop. That's what he did right there. Flow state, beautiful play. Forkball to Gorman, Smelia. Jordan Walker. Has Jordan Walker hit it all this year yet? Or is he still just getting endorsed? That was nasty. Look at Senga. See, he looks like he's a little more loosey-goosey out there, which is what I wanted to see as the main thing. Just like, is he letting it flow? That's letting it flow. All right, so punchy, punchy, and punchy. Still touching 98 at the very end. Why are we in half speed? There we go. So that's the main thing that I wanted to see out of Kodai is just, does he look like he's a little bit more just in the moment, not grinding his gears? And that's what I saw. That's what I've seen today. For the most part, letting it eat, throwing hard. And I think he did a nice job. So it's not his fault that the team lost. They didn't score any runs. He put together a pretty quality start. You know, can't be perfect every time. Did get 17 swings and misses. So I think this was a very positive sign for the Mets and Mr. Senga. Let's see what the stuff grades have on Senga. I'm very curious to see how that looks after that exceptional velo yesterday. Yeah, give him a 110 stuff grade on his four seam. 104 on cutter, 104 on the fork, 101 on the sweeper, 109 on the slider, 103 on the sinker, 97 on the curveball. Wow, so he basically grades out above average on everything yesterday. Averaged 97.4 in this game, so tremendous velocity. That's up from last season. I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged by this first outing from Senga. This is interesting. Look at his pitch locations versus lefties in this game. Just spamming away. Away, 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 away. Whereas we just watched Painter in. Kodai away, 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 away. A lot of backdoor cutters. That kind of helps set up the forkball for him. Fastballs away. And then righties up and in, up and in, up and in, up and in, and then some stuff below the zone. So, I don't know. Very encouraged by Senga there. The Mets have had some good starting pitching. for the most part, to open up this season. So I know they're a little frustrated that they're not like 5-1 right now or whatever, 4-1, but I think it's okay. As for the Lovelady conversation, so he pitches 3 out of 4, right? That's basically what just happened? I'm not really sure what the bullpen usage has been. I mean, I think that Devon's pitched 2 of the first 5 games, Weaver 2, Raley 1. I know that in general, I'm definitely on board with, sometimes not chasing games. I just hope that this guy is going to be all right. He's pitched a lot early here. I mean, it is kind of 3 out of 4, all 3 outings over 20 pitches is a little bit of a workload, I'd say, right? First week of the season. 21 pitches on the 28th, 26 on the 29th, and then 1 day off on the 30th, and then he comes back with 2 frames and 29 pitches yesterday. So I don't know, 4-day span, he throws, what is that, 60, 70, 76 pitches? I mean, it seems like a little much, but I also see the big plan, and if he's feeling good, fine. But if not, I don't know, maybe it's more about the other guys. But I mean, that's kind of the idea. He's going to be the one. They can't chase every game, but it'd be nice if they had more than one guy that they could not chase with. So it's kind of an interesting spot to be. All right, let me get in the chat here. They used a B lineup playing the long game last night. 5 through 9, couldn't hit anything. Jared Young in 5-hole, like, come on. Yeah, they didn't play the A lineup at all yesterday, huh? It wasn't just with the Lovelady decision. There was like 3 different people that played in the same game yesterday, right? It was this is yesterday's game. I want today's game. I mean, I want yesterday's game. I don't want today's game. Hold up. Yeah, Mets lineup yesterday. Lindor, Soto, Bichette, Robert, Young, Vientos, Semien, Benj, Terens. So, okay, like Terens and Alvey, like those guys are always going to be switching up. That's normal. Interesting, Jared Young getting the start at first. I know Polanco's got this weird Achilles thing now. That doesn't bode very well in my mind. Vientos at DH. I mean, why not Beatty? Why not Beatty in the game and play first base? Why does Jared Young get the start there? To me, Beatty should be getting those starts, but again, there's information we don't know about, so I'm not gonna like freak out. It's like literally the 5th game of the season. Anyway, that's pretty much it that's going on. How did it go for the Mets game? Bo Bichette, another 0 for 3, no strikeout. Soto's looking good. Lindor, 176, but 829 OPS. They'll get rolling. I mean, it's just so hard to make any judgments at this point. All right, let me stay in the chat here for a minute. I think Lubob struggles to stay locked in at times. That was a criticism of him in Chicago. Part of the narrative was coming to the Mets, being a little bit more on the big stage might change that. But like I haven't watched him admittedly play that much before this year, so we'll see. I mean, I know he's very talented, but we'll just have to watch. Since it's also in this game, can we take a quick look at Wynn doubling off Bo in the 6th? Dude is such a crazy athlete. Okay, so this was in this game. Bo must have been on base, I'm assuming here. You said it was like 6th inning. Yeah, here it is. Oh, my guy, Graceffo on the mound, my paisan. So this has got to be the play. Little liner up the middle, Mason Wynn. I want to know how hard he threw that. I bet you we could find that out. He threw the shit out of this ball. Thanks for this comment, Mr. Gorilla Spam. All right, hold on. Let me go research tool. We got a tool for this. We got a tool for this. Hold on. All right, let me find the game from yesterday. Plays, that was the 6th inning. That's how the 6th inning ended. Here. And then we should have some info over here. Mason Wynn. Damn, he only threw that 89.8. I thought that was like going to be like 96 on the throw. 89.8. So, all right. Thought it would be harder. Thanks for pointing that out anyway, though. That was fun. All right, back to the chat. Kodai sat 98 for much of this game. Had the best start of anyone in the rotation. 6 innings, 2 runs. Yeah, he looked good. I can't be mad about Senga's outing at all. I thought he looked good. That was very encouraging, for sure. I'd rather not light the world on fire in March, April. Loveladies being burnt and was used in high leverage, and the inevitable happens every time. This wasn't high leverage. He got used in high leverage the other day in the extra inning game. I don't really know. I don't know the details. I don't know the details. You see dudes doing intricate handshake sellies after homers. Are they sitting around practicing those? At some point, they're practiced. Yes, at some point, they're practiced. Yeah, we'll get to Max maybe. Does Wynn have the best shortstop arm in the league? I do think so. I really do. I think he might. All right, let's hop into our next one. Let's go to, who do you want to do? Max Fried or Shohei next? I think we'll look at Max. Yankees win 5-0. They continue to give up basically no runs. They've now played 5 games, and they've allowed, I think, 3 runs. Is that right? 5 games, 3 runs as a staff? Pretty good if you can do it. Maximus Fried, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 90 pitches. He's the definition of an ace, guys. He doesn't need to strike everybody out. He's got a huge mix. He's got great feel versus both sides. He does it all. Yankees look great. Yankees look great here in the early going. All right, 27 four-seamers, 20 sinkers. And those are drastically different in shape. Also 15 cutters, 12 changeups, 10 curveballs, which is crazy. He went through this whole outing with only throwing 10 curveballs, one of his most impressive pitches. 8 sweepers, 1 slider. How'd he do on whiffs in this game? Not even that great. 9 total whiffs. First pitch strikes. Looks like he did pretty good with those. And then the velo hung in there the whole game. Peaked in the 4th when I'm assuming he got some base, like a base runner or something. But we'll see. All right, Fried and the Mariners. It also helps that the Mariners aren't hitting yet, too. Pig Dumper looks really lost at the plate right now. But he is facing some pretty good guys. All right, Maximus Fried. Let's watch his outs. All right, Rob Refsnyder, former Red Sox, getting the start in this game, and he gets just off the barrel with this cutter. You know, off the bat, that looks like a tank, but it's off the barrel. 82-5. 1 out in the first. Now he's going to get his first strikeout. It's Big Dumper. I've mentioned when it rains, it dumps, and it's dumping on him right now. He's not getting it going. Perfect location. You see the high target. Max gets it there, and smell you later. Nice pitch. This is a 4-pitch walk. So really nice execution to those first 2 guys, and then a 4-pitch walk, even though that's definitely a strike. And then he'll finish his first inning with a punchy of Naylor. Naylor also not looking great at the plate yet. Ooh, fastball up again. So really good location. Looks like Ascara had the mitt down that time, but really good heater for strike 3. On to the second inning. Randy. Change up. Grisham is on that. Really, Grisham got a great beat on that, huh? Let's look at the jump. Oh yeah, he got a good beat on that. He left right away to catch that ball. So nice play by Trent. Good swing by Randy going with that changeup too. Randy's swinging it a little better the last 2 games. Last 3 games. But anyway, nice play by Grish. Called strike 3 here to Donovan. So they move Donovan down in the order when it's a lefty starter. They don't keep him at leadoff, huh? Interesting. They go Refsnyder leadoff. Little 4-seam freeze at the knees, and then a first pitch out on a cutter to Robles. That's the same spot he threw to Refsnyder, and that's what the lefties, well, really, like what kind of similar to what Painter was doing with the righties throwing up in, but that's what the lefties do. They just try to nail that spot up and in. You can't get extended on it. Damn it, where's my pen? Can't get extended on it. And that's what happens here again. Beautiful pitch. First pitch out. So I feel like when you're an opposite-handed pitcher to the hitter, it's like that first pitch cutter in could be your one-pitch solution. Kind of in the way when it's the same side, it's that first pitch sinker in that could be your solution to get the quick one pitch out. So gets a little pop-up there, and we are on to the third. Gonna get his first out here in the third on a fastball.
This is right through the wickets and a backhand by
Jazz on the other side of the bag. One dead there.
One of the game's very best.
I did see the Mariners extended Colt Emerson before he's ever even in the show to like $90 million extension. So I don't know what that means for Cole Young or Williamson or any of these dudes. I don't think Williamson's here anymore. Any of these dudes that are kind of in his way, but it kind of tells me that pretty soon they're going to be not in his way. Great play there. Great play all around here. Rice goes a long way for this. This probably could easily be Jazz's ball. But look at Max covering, knowing where the bag is. 4-time Gold Glover for a reason. Nice play.
30+ starts, having some success.
All right, and then a called strike 3 to Refsnyder here.
Strike 3 call. The curveball.
Challenge too late. Challenge too late, right? That's the interesting thing about these challenges too. Like you gotta wait. You can't wait. You can't wait at all. So punches out looking. Good catch by Escara. On to the fourth. Change up to Big Dumper, a.k.a. the Big Slumper. Can't hit it to Max. He'll make that play every time. Julio. Sinker. Gets that inside-out swing beautifully. Ground ball to second. Jazz flips it on over. So he had pretty much no... they never really challenged him in this game. Just a lot of easy outs. Hey, Naylor on the board with a knock right there. There you go. He needed one. He needed one to fall. And now Randy, cutter, gets it to that up and in. So he's gotten 3 outs now on beautifully placed up-in cutters. Big part of his game to righties. Popped it up, popped it up. And we are now in the 5th. First pitch out to Donovan. First pitch sinker. I talked about the possibility of getting the one pitch outs. If it's same side, it's usually sinker. If it's opposite side, I'm starting to think maybe if you have a well-located cutter, that could be your route to the quick one pitch out. That's the same side, so it's sinker, a little jam sandwich. Strikeout of Robles on changeup. Beautiful location. Swings out in front on it. So, I mean, he kind of just sticks and moves. He doesn't really give you any type of ability to sit on anything. He's got too many weapons. He uses them all. He's not afraid of contact because he knows how to get weak contact. He's not obsessed with strikeouts. Of course, he likes strikeouts, but he's not obsessed with them. Doesn't even bother him to have a man on first because you just pick your ass off. So, Max really has it working. That's why his floor is so high. He could have bad stuff and still be quite effective. All right, 6th inning. Cole Young rollover.
Is that a red back or a green back?
Nice play, nice play.
Yeah.
And now a 3-pitch punchy of Refsnyder. Fastball up doors. Let's watch this whole sequence because this is a pretty smart hitter. First pitch sweeper, not what he's looking for. Gets it for the strike. Then he goes back-to-back 4-seamers, huh? 4-seamer up, correctly reads that he's not on that, and then just tries to double up and go a little bit higher. And beats him. So good at-bat reading, great execution. I mean, he dotted all 3 of those pitches. And then he's going to get the Big Dumper, a.k.a. Big Slumper, with the changeup. So, I mean, he's just not seeing it real well right now. He's not staying in his legs very good. He's not balanced up there, not letting his ace swing get off. Weird to see early going, but you know that just means bad news for some pitchers coming up soon. Little chopper down for Julio. No way they're making that play with his speed. So infield hit. So even when they are getting hits, they're kind of weak. First pitch out. Oh, here's that left-on-left sinker I've been talking about. It's going to be a double play, isn't it? Yep. So once again, you want to get a quick contact, especially ground ball.
Just the second hit tonight for the Mariners.
Same side, try a sinker. Opposite side, try a cutter, but you got to locate it. Man, I'm getting blown up with text messages. I'm sorry. I have to turn that off, that alert off on my computer. Messages, settings. All right, we're good on that now. And, ooh, a hit by pitch.
That sounded like it got him, and it did.
Just too much movement. Too nasty. All right, Donovan. Ooh, nice swing by Donnie. Sat back on that curveball nicely. First and second. 2 out, so he has to make a pitch here to complete his night after the 2 out, little 2 out danger here.
Into the strike zone.
And he goes with the changeup to Robles.
Into right field.
Sticks the bat out. Judge is perfectly placed. And that's 7 shutout innings. That's a beautiful job by Max. As you can see, it wasn't like hellaciously nasty. It wasn't like I'm striking out everybody type of thing. It was like you're just getting out, and you know you're having a comfortable offer basically against me. And not everybody can do that, and I think that just separates him in a lot of ways. Takes him up so many notches. You just look up at the end of the day, and you're like, man, we didn't do nothing. All right, 66.7% strikes. Doesn't even like his four seam, but everything else grades out really well. But he just did a great job. I mean, he's just throwing strikes all day. Gets huge chase, almost 40% chase in this game. They never really hit him hard. He was never really challenged. He's fantastic. He's holding down the fort right now while Garrett and Carlos and everybody else gets ready. But first 2 starts, no earnings for Fried. So he's off to another great start with the Yanks. 2-0 in the early going with a 0. So gotta love it. He looks great. All right, let me get into the chat. We'll chat a little bit. Max has always been comfortable pitching to contact or dropping in the curve and freezing them. Yeah, he's a true complete pitcher out there, complete player out there. Like he understands the whole picture, and that helps him go deep into games. It's helped him be a durable guy. Helped him be incredibly valuable for his team, and it doesn't mean that he's not a big time performer in big games either, because we've seen him pitch a deciding game of a World Series, so he can do it all. I think that was the best for me. That was the best. For me, that was the best signing of the offseason. 2 years ago for the Yankees. I was happy that they went right for him, because for me, he was the #1 free agent. I liked him more than Burns, because I just think Fried is more complete, but that's just my opinion. Plus, I love lefties. All right, what else we got here? Pitching just seems to be dominating early on in the season. So many elite players with just terrible numbers. Yeah, it's the age-old. Everything's under the microscope right now because it's week #1. It's all a small sample. Probably wouldn't notice it much if this was June or August. You probably wouldn't notice it. But yes, in the early going, as expected, a lot of pitching has won out and has looked very, very good. According to ESPN's top 11 aces that just came out, Max is not on the list, but Cease is. Well, I would disagree with that. I don't write those articles. All right, what else we got here? This hurt me. This hurt my soul. This literally hurt my soul yesterday. Bosnia defeated Italy in PKs yesterday, so no Italians in the World Cup once again. I think it's the 3rd one in a row. Yeah, 3rd straight WIS World Cup. I was hoping to see them when they came to America this year, but the Azzurri will not. I was going to wear my WBC jersey. The whole thing, man. The whole thing. All right, what else we got? I mean, I see you guys in the chat going back and forth about this whole argument over Lovelady and the expendableness. The thing is that's exactly what it's going to be. They are going to just get rid of him. They're going to chew him up. They're going to pitch him more than he should pitch. Then they're going to get rid of him, and they'll do it to another guy. So, I mean, I guess he kind of knows what it is. He's signed with the Mets like 4 or 5 times now. And you see this all across the league. But yeah, you do have to sometimes lose the battle to win the war. But I don't know if I would have thrown him 2 frames yesterday or not. I mean, there's 8 guys out there. I don't know. Got to spread it around. Especially earlier. Just spread it around. Spread it around. That's about it. Logan Webb changes mechanics after the 4th inning and turned around his outing. Can you tell what he did? Yeah, maybe. I'll take a look at him. I think Shohei's probably next. This is because hitting is extremely hard. You're going to look bad at times. You're going to look awful at times. I mean, Judge had what? Like Judge and Soto both struggled last year early, and then they both ended up putting up, you know, top 5 in the league numbers. So you can't judge anything this early, but yeah. Yeah, I saw this too. Red Sox had a situation where in their game where everybody forgot the count. Bayo was pitching. Crazy. Yep, Trout's resurgence has been good so far. He looks young. He looks svelte. He looks ready. Lovelady got DFA'd like 7 times last year, kept coming back. The Mets had 2 extra innings games for context. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm not saying anything's right or wrong here. We'll just see. We'll just see. And if Lovelady's feeling good, like a part of it is the conversation and the monitoring of each individual player. If the player's good to go, the player's good to go. If the player's sketchy, that's when you don't force, like sketchy in terms of his health, that's when you don't force him into extra workload. That's not when you throw caution to wind. You have to have caution, but we don't know any of this information. I only know about shit when I was there. I don't know about anything now. I don't agree with this. That Cease is way better than Max Fried. Max Fried has objectively had a much better career than Dylan Cease to this point. So I couldn't possibly disagree with you more on that. Maybe at this moment, Cease might be leveling up, but we'll see. All right, it's time for Shohei time. All right, Shohei gets on the bump last night for the first time in the season. What does he do? Of course, he pitches well. His final line, 6 innings, 1 hit, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 87 pitches, no runs, blah, blah, blah. Edwin gave up a run, but that's fine. He does that every once in a while. All right, Shohei's breakdown. Let's see what type of pitcher was Shohei today. You know? 32 heaters, 21 curveballs, 15 splitters, 12 sweepers, 4 sinkers, 3 sliders. Okay. Still throwing that new version of the splitter that he's got going on. A lot of curveballs. We noticed that in one of his starts versus Anaheim in the Freeway Series right before the season. He threw a ton of really slow curveballs. Looks like these are the same variety. 74.8, so 22 miles an hour slower than his 4-seam. All right, I'm tempted to watch every pitch because it's Shohei. So, I don't know. What do you guys say? Should we watch every pitch? We'll kind of go through it quick. Cleveland and the Dodgers. Yeah, let's watch them all because I want to see kind of how he mixes and matches.
Off we go as Ohtani fires and a fastball misses away on Kwan.
Fastball, ball. What bothered me was Max when the Blue Jays got him last year. He basically clears them up cheating. I don't know what that meant. That wasn't English. But I know, I get it. The Blue Jays own his ass. They owned him last year. Blue Jays can take ownership on Max for the time being. But that doesn't mean anything in the comparison with Cease. So. All right, so first batter of the game, Kwan. Pretty good pass at this fastball. And a really nice job by Pages to run it down. He just didn't quite catch that on the barrel, I guess. 93.8. Shohei's got a little bit of that same shape as Painter. Not a ton of... Painter might have more IVB. Shohei's actually a little lower now. But it's the same type of deal with a little bit of perceived cut to it. So take note of that. All right, second batter of the game, DeLauder. Here's that first low curveball. Ooh, nice pitch. Hey, ERA doesn't matter. I see you guys arguing about this. They're both good pitchers, but Cease wishes his career was Max Fried so far. So that's just reality. All right, so look, in this same at-bat, he throws a curveball at 74 miles an hour for a strike. Watch the contrast here. 74 miles an hour. And then the pitch he gets him out with is 99 miles an hour. So that's a 25 mile an hour difference. There's just no way you're going to be able to cover both. And also, did DeLauder get hurt on this play? This poor guy's been hurt a lot. What happens coming out of the box here? Immediately hurt. What the fuck? We were just talking about this the other day when I was at the Guards Mariners game. Like, this dude needs to stay healthy. I don't understand what's going on with these health issues, but now he's going to be day-to-day, I guess. All right, next batter, Jose Ramirez. Love to watch these two go at it. All right, first pitch, heater, takes. Ramirez actually has an incredibly slow, low first pitch swing rate. So he does steal that first pitch strike to start off this at bat. Now he's 0-2. It's going to be a long battle. Foul ball. Yeah, no shit, ERA matters. I was being sarcastic. But I think that at the end of the day, Cease doesn't suck because he has a bad ERA, is my point. Two of the years. He doesn't suck because 2 of the years he had a bad ERA. But again, it's part of the reason why I don't rate him as high as Fried. So.
High drive, center field. Pages sprinting back on the track, changes directions and makes a basket.
What the fuck, Pages? Did he hit this ball hard? 99.6 to 32 doesn't go anywhere.
Alone, yeah. High drive, center field. Pages sprinting back. On the track, changes directions and makes a basket catch. Today.
2021, Mets drafted Kumar at 10, while Philly picked Painter at 13. Shake my head. Yeah, it's hard to pull the trigger on a. It's hard to pull a trigger on a high school righty. When you look at, like, the models, you know, when you look at the history of high school right-handed pitchers. Of course, you could pop an Andrew Painter. You could pop a lot of really good guys, but you could also have a complete bust. And at the time, Rocker was considered a little bit more of a sure thing, you know, because he pitched at Vanderbilt. But no doubt I'd rather have Painter than Rocker at the moment. Let me look at this splitter from this at-bat. This was filthy to Manzardo. Gosh, Shohei's so nasty. And then he gets the fly out on the jam sandwich. So I've been talking about it all day and all night after watching Painter, but it's the same deal. If you have a little bit of perceived cut or actual cut to your fastball and you're a righty throwing to a lefty or a lefty throwing to a righty, you just have to own this part of the plate. You own this part of the plate. You put down, you know, you put stakes in the ground and say, this is my shit. And that's what these guys have done, and that's what makes it really hard for these lefties to get the barrel to it. So, oh, relax, Mets fan.
He's reached base in 6 of his first 10 times up with Cleveland.
Painter is 1 start into his career. Yeah, and it looked pretty damn good. Kumar hasn't been impressive at all. All right, sweeper ball and sweeper strike 3. It's funny when he goes into sweeper mode too, because he can go to electric sweeper because that's 87 miles an hour. So Rhys Hoskins gets a whole bunch of those. Fastball down, strike. Really slow curveball. I love the contrast between those two pitches.
0-2 on all 3 hitters in this inning.
It rained yesterday at Dodger Stadium? Never rains there.
Up to 98.
See what he gets him out with here. Splitter.
Here's 1-2 to Naylor. Got a chase on a splitter to finish off a 1-2-3 second. He's retired the first.
He's got everything working. Splitter, slow curveball. I like the slow curveball because it's 2 speeds down. Ottavino sweeper better than the Ohtani sweeper? I don't think so. I think Ohtani's is better. I think mine had a little bit more of a steep approach angle at times. But, I mean, he throws his harder. I think his is better. Should we just give the World Series to the Dodgers already? No, that wouldn't be any fun. They got to earn it. Even with this roster. It's baseball. No short things. They almost lost each of the last 2 years. Padres had him. Jays had him. They won by the skin of their teeth, so let's not overreact. But they are, I mean, on paper, they're pretty much guaranteed to be, you know, in the Final 4. You think it's a yes? You guys think it's a yes? Nah, it's not a guarantee. If I was a gambling person, I would still take the field. Despite them having the best roster on paper that we've maybe ever seen. Sweeper. So righties is going heavy sweepers. There's that sinker. So there's the first walk. If I thought it was, I would say it. If I thought it was, I would say it. For real.
50 innings.
Broken bat flare. Mookie Betts levitates and makes the catch. Back to first, not in time.
Nice try by Mookie here. Doesn't get anything on the throw, but nice try.
Flare. Mookie Betts levitates and makes the catch. Back to first, not in time.
Ate it, but he thought he had a chance. Good, nice, accurate throw.
Back to the top and Quan. A curve misses. So you were saying if he's
When he has defense behind him like that.
If you started MLB now, would you have a different pitching arsenal?
But
No, I just probably would have gotten to my arsenal a lot quicker. Instead of it taking like a 10-year period to eventually have 6 pitches that I'm comfortable with, that probably would have happened in a year or two. So it would have happened a lot
so you
quicker.
take 6 innings and you
But it would have ended up in the same spot because a lot of this stuff's sort of inevitable. There's only so many directions you can go with your pitches. And if you're a supinator like me, low slot supinator, no matter what, you're going to end up with some combination of, sinker, 4-seam, probably a crappy 4-seam metrically, but from a low slot. So good sinker metric with a 4-seam with upshoot, some sort of cutter. Mine sucked, but cutter, sweeper, of course, and then some sort of changeup, like a kick change 6-seam shift changeup. Curveball, like I threw it also, but I had to climb the arm angle. But you can create every pitch type from this spot. They're just like, some of them are kind of muted because of the way you throw, but I just think I would have gotten there. Everybody gets there. If you go look at the pitch mixes around the league, anybody who's like 25 degrees, they're going to get to exactly the same place I did. It just, now it happens a lot quicker because we can teach every pitch. All right, so 2 guys on in this spot. Ooh, they do a challenge. Oh, Shohei challenging from the mound. I think they both challenged here, but he knew it. That's in there. Gets him to a 1-2 count, and that will probably get him out of this inning. It does. Slow curveball. Actually threw this one a little harder. 82. This is another thing that he does that I wonder if this is partly because he's a hitter and he knows it matters. He changes speeds on all his pitches. You know what I mean? He changes his mind, his speeds on all these pitches. 82, whereas he was throwing them down to 73, 74 before. So I think that, again, I think there's something magical to being a two-way player for a really long time where you understand a little bit more of your opponent's perspective, whether you're hitting or pitching. So I really love that. Also, don't feel bad. We're allowed to disagree on some things, and you're allowed to feel strongly about some things too. It's all good, buddy. It's all good. I appreciate your opinions just as much as anybody else's, and I'm glad you're here in the chat with us. Did you see the curveball velo difference? Had one at 88 and one at 69. I just noticed it, Spectre. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's doing it on purpose, and that's, again, I think just because he has such feel, for what he's doing now. All right, Jose Ramirez, and yep, he's right back up to 98, 99. He also knows who he's facing and when he can kind of lay off the pedal a little bit. This is so cool. First pitch strike, because again, I mentioned Jose Ramirez is so passive 0-0. I was looking at the numbers prior to the game I did on NBC. He's like 18% first pitch swing, which is extremely low. Now, his numbers when he does swing are great. He hits like 450 with 1,000 OPS, so you have to watch out. But there's a lot of opportunity for free strikes. And then once again, Shohei hits that spot, jams a lefty, and it's 98-8. So I just like the fact that he has so much feel out there. It's hard to teach that, but he has more experience than anybody because he's plays so many damn innings, whether he's hitting or pitching. He just gets a ton of feel over time. All right, here's 2 slow curves. Those are 73. This is 73 again. So now is he playing a Greinke game? See how slow I can throw it? 80 on this one. So 73, 73, 73, 80, trying to get the chase. So again, immediately just goes into a feel. Wow, he just spammed 5 curveballs to Manzardo. 5 curveballs. He's such an interesting pitcher. Very hard to think with him.
Said wow too.
Yeah, I bet. First one to Hoskins. That's right there. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's right there.
Does anyone have a Mariano cutter? Jansen and David Robertson, I would say, is similar, at least in terms of movement, from what we can tell. But honestly, no. How does he get it to snap at 88 and then at 69? Dude, I don't know. He's got unbelievable feel. It also, you're right, it was really pissing in this game, which is crazy.
5 in a row to Manzardo.
Here's a 1-1 sweeper. amazing he had this good of command and control with the rain coming down. Okay, this is a good job by Rhys Hoskins. Rhys Hoskins got dominated by sweepers in the first at-bat, so clearly he sits on sweeper this whole time. And then when this one doesn't get to the edge, he gets a hit on it. So I'm going to give credit to Rhys Hoskins for having a great plan here, because that's dotted down and away, but if it's something you're hunting, you can hit it. So that's really nice. Really nice by Rhys there. Seems like Ohtani is already better than Babe Ruth. Well, you know my opinion. I think so. Ooh, what changeup grip did I have? I'll show you in a minute, Carl.
Hoskins at second, 2 out. The 1-1 pitch. The dirt for
on second, 2 outs. These are stressful.
After watch this final out of the fourth. Splitter. Popped up by Bo.
Short center field, bets out. Fernandez on with the
he had it all working, though. Definitely had great command. I'm loving the changes of speeds on the curveball. All right, here is the here's the changeup grip that I used. So, like, all right, so this was like my sinker grip. Changeup was similar. I'd go middle finger on this seam, ring finger off the seam, right? And then I would put my thumb right under here, and I would try to push the ball back in my hand a little bit. These two, I want them to be there but loose. So when I go to throw, they kind of are a non-factor. And then I want all the fingers to come off and just the middle finger to roll the ball. So middle finger here. And from my slot, the ball's hand's coming through like this. And then you roll it and you create this 3 o'clock-ish spin. Now I was also working on the kick version of that. So same exact grip, nothing changes except this finger gets spiked up just a bit. You see that, you can see the daylight there a little bit. And then you throw it and you kind of push it with the finger, and it should kick it a little bit more down and create a little bit more drop. That was the grip I used. All right, we are on to the next inning. Brian Rocchio, who was with us with Team Paisan for exactly 1 game versus Venezuela.
For him to be somebody who...
Not everybody's giving $4,000 watches to everybody on the team opening day.
Fastball, fastball, fastball. So this was still a 1-0 game here. Like, he had to be locked in throughout here. 4 fastballs in a row. Now to the slow curveball. And it's just hard to explain. 20 miles an hour is just so hard to stay back. Let's see if we can see Rocchio go forward early here and then be effed. Yeah. So look, the body goes forward to hit a fastball, and then he's like, oh shit, the ball's not even close to here. I mean, it's an old trick. It's an old as we've been playing baseball. And, you know, maybe stuff grades won't capture that, but the front back nature of the fast slow game will always work. Man, this is 72. I just want to know how he has so much feel with it. I mean, the feel is insane. But you can tell that he found something with it towards the end of spring training.
Watching the guys get their rings, but we're also having a 20-minute conversation. Under stadium, like 3rd row over there by the dugout, having a 20-minute conversation with him. That is.
And then an out on a curveball.
Ground ball towards the middle.
Mookie. Mookie's been looking nice at short for a while now. I'm listening at work some a while, but Shohei said that he sees himself as a pitcher. Do you think he can pitch a full season? I do. I think he can. I mean, I think he can. I know he's got the double Tommy Johns, but I'm never going to put anything past Shohei. And also, I think that's a big part of, like, why we're seeing this now, is he wants to win that Cy Young. I mean, that's the award that he doesn't have yet. That ends a lot of arguments. He wins the Cy Young one time, that ends a lot of arguments. I mean, nobody can touch his accolades if he does that. All right, pulls a fastball. What a tremendous reaction. This also really hurt. He hit him right in the freaking kneecap. Oh, the back leg. Back leg inside of the knee. Oh. Oh, buddy, I'm sorry. Oh, my God. No wonder he dropped in a heap. I would have too. Look at Shohei's reaction to hitting him. Reactions all over the place. Poor Angel. I wonder if the rain had anything to do with that one. All right, man on first, 2 outs. Back to Stephen Kwan.
Stephen Kwan drives this ball.
And another fly ball. I mean, Quan had 2 good passes at him, but they're both just fly balls to center because he doesn't have quite enough juice on it. And Shohei gets slightly off the barrel.
Can he make all the starts?
All right, 6th inning. Still a 1-0 game, so they needed every bit of this Shohei outing. First pitch, curveball strike. Second pitch, splitter, swing and miss. And another splitter, swing and miss. Devastating. Really good sequence there. Good luck with that one. All right. Oh, so this time Jose Ramirez was willing to swing on 0-0. So I wonder if this is a strategy sometimes, and I know some guys do that. They intentionally are super passive early in the game just to try to ambush you later, thinking, oh, he's going to lay one in there, thinking I don't swing 0-0. And I think that's maybe what Ramirez did here. But he doesn't swing, but you saw he was ready to swing. All right, 1-0 fastball. Very dangerous pitch. And he just misses it. Fly out to left. That was probably the most dangerous pitch he threw all game. Really impressive to do this and have this level of feel in the rain, though, I will say. The rain, sometimes it's not a big deal out there, but sometimes it is. Sometimes your grip is just not right. The mound's not as grippy. There's a couple factors there. All right, fly out there. Manzardo got 5 curveballs last at bat. Let's see if he sticks with that. Oh, and right away, what did I say about the mound? Little slippage here. Shohei immediately looking down.
Of the regular season.
Splitter, so definitely a little bit of a strugs here. Curveball, ball, 3-0, and then he walks him. So a little bit of, loses it here a little bit. He's staring at the mound. You got to wonder if it got a little soggy at this point. And here's his last batter of the game. Hoskins, I remember. Hoskins sat on that sweeper last time. I wonder if he's doing it again. For sure. For sure. Sweeper foul. Let's see if Shohei sticks with it. Fastball away. Yep, batter's box is getting soggy too. Look at Reese here. I don't know. I want it from this side. Look at Reese here. And sweeper. So he does go to the sweeper. Oh. He falls down twice in the box. So Reese is feeling like the box screwed him here. And this is actually a kind of a mistake. Good thing it was low because, man, if he almost messed up here and gave up a two-run homer. He really did. I think I would not have gone back to the sweeper on Hoskins. It works out here. But to me, he was definitely looking for it. All right, what do we got here in the chat? They repaired the mound before the last at-bat for Shohei, before he went up to swing. Yeah, I saw Diaz kind of struggled, but he still got the save, right? Got it done. The rain was brutal last night. Did you ever have an appearance where the umps just wouldn't call it? Yes, I talked about it on the stream the other day. I bet you I could find it. It's from my Red Sox days. We were playing the Marlins. Marlins, Red Sox, 2021. God, I pitched in all 3 of these games. What, is Cora trying to kill me? Which one was it? I think it was the night game. Let's guess. Yeah, this is it. It was absolutely pissing in this game. Look at the field. Look at the people in the stands. Look at the whole thing. There's puddles everywhere. There's nobody at this freaking game. But this thing got really bad. Oh, yeah, look at the rain. Look at it coming down. Look at it coming down. Guess who the umpire is? The one and only CB Buckner. And that's why your boy's throwing 92 miles an hour in a year where I threw gas. And then look at my hat. Look how wet my hat is. Anyway, this inning got out of hand because I couldn't throw strikes with the rain. Walk again. Couldn't grip the ball at all. And I'm begging for him to pull the tarp. Literally begging for him to pull the tarp. You can see I'm frustrated. Here's another 4-pitch walk. I think I said to CB multiple times in this inning, I can't grip the ball. I can't pitch like this. We were switching balls every pitch. And he's like, no, Otto, you got to finish this out. You got to finish it out. So I do end up finishing it out. I strike out Isan Diaz here after I walked the bases loaded. I felt like this cost me 3 walks on my ledger too. And you can see, look at the rain. Look how pissed I am. Now, I imagine this was raining harder in this game than it was in the Shohei game, but you get the idea. So I've definitely been through it. Yeah, he's like, you got to make a pitch, Otto. You got to make a pitch. You got to make one more pitch. And I'm like, shut up. I'm trying to do as good as I can. Oh, it wasn't a save. He had a 4-run lead. Okay, my bad. Do you think it's a good idea to move up on the box on Ohtani while he's winding up? Could be, because he throws a lot of those pitches with the drop on it, like the sinkers or the curveballs. Maybe catch him out front a little bit. Had the rain would have gave you the custom fit for the cap. It does kind of like just suck to your head with all that rain. It was pretty early, maybe May, April or May. CB Buckner, yeah, now he doesn't have to worry about me talking about him. He got ABS to worry about. So, and they do have lifetime jobs like Supreme Court justices. Oh, shit. All right. Let me go look at the baseball reference for a second, just out of curiosity to see who our top performers were last night. By win probability added. Oh, yeah, this rookie with the 2 home runs from Arizona, Fernandez. Terang had a big one. Henderson off DeGrom. We'll watch some of that in a little bit. Ohapi off Maton. Carroll off Vest. Top performers in the box. Oneil Cruz, 2 home runs. Jose Fernandez, 2 home runs. Adames, 4 for 5. Danny Jansen, 3 for 5. Yordan, 2 for 3. Hunter Brown. Jose Soriano, who I've been trying to tell you guys is making the leap. I think we want to watch Max Scherzer next, though. There's been a little bit of a desire to watch Max. So let's check him out. 41-year-old Max, casually putting up a nice start. I want to kind of see where he's at as we head into this season. Max Scherzer, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Did give up 1 home run versus the Rockies. 83 pitches. We won't watch every pitch, but we'll get through it. Player breakdowns. What did Maximus throw? 37 heaters, 24 sliders, 11 curveballs, 9 changeups, and 2 cutters. Cut his dick off, Otto. Cut his dick off. That's what Max used to say. That's how I think about throwing it to lefties. I'm going to cut his dick off. Okay, Max. All right, Toronto and the Rock Show. Maximus, Decimus, Meridius, whatever. All right, Schurz. Let's see these at bats.
Is what John Schneider said before the game. This is popped up.
Fastball up. You know,
Looks like he's got room.
I talked about it on the broadcast the other day when I was talking about Emerson Hancock and like guys with the low slot upshoot heater. Max is one of those guys. Upshoot heater. Oh, this is a very good sign. So what he's been struggling with the last few years, more than anything, is backing up his slider in big counts. Not getting through the slider, not executing the slider. I think that might have had something to do with the thumb. And I know he's been playing piano to fix that. And then sure enough, perfect execution there on the 3-2 slider down for the chase. Also, Velo looking good. 93.8 out of Max today. Gets in on Willie Castro there, over to Ernie. 3 up, 3 down in the first. Second inning, 1 pitch out on a slider. Ooh, good execution. Down and away. That's my big thing with Max. Ooh, do we get to see Max do his lollipop throw from the side? Hold on. I love his lollipop throws. Lollipop throw. Plop. All right, next up.
And it appeared when the clock up on the scoreboard went to 6:31 as this one is
Curveball base hit from Rumfield. Troy Johnston. Ooh, nice changeup. Perfect execution down and away. Fly out to Varsho. Here's a walk to Doyle.
The 3-1, and that's ball 4.
All right, so 2-1, 2 out. We'll watch this whole at-bat. This is a 10-pitch at-bat with Karros. First pitch, slider, strike. Slider, you can see already, it's coming out very straight out of the hand, which I like, because that means it's going to cosplay as a fastball for a while. Yeah, look at that. All the sliders are away. Very nice. So he's locating those better. Fastball in, strike. I'm just saying. He has, I can't even, there's some stuff that I can't even say out loud about how he would think about throwing some pitches. And of course, I value, you know, Max's privacy. But that one I thought I could share. You know, he's like, you got to be mean with the cutter, mean with the cutter. You're not nice with the cutter. You're cutting his dick off. Like, okay, I can pick up what you're thinking. All right, 2-2 changeup. Nice take by Karros. Gets the 3-2, and he's gonna punch him with a slider. Oh, this time he does back it up, but it hangs in there into the inside corner. So kind of a happy accident here. This is the first one that he doesn't get through. This has been the one issue I've seen with him over the last few years. Obviously, he doesn't have the explosive heater the same, but it's more just the slider, you know, execution. All right, Ryan Ritter. Little fly out on the slider. Here's a out on a curveball to McCarthy. I love curveball to McCarthy. Ground ball. There's Jimenez. Hey, Blue Jays fans, how are you feeling with Jimenez every day at short? You liking that? You liking that instead of Bo? I bet. Fastball up in, great spot. This is another way to get a quick out, right on right if you're not a sinker guy. Instead of making your location, you know, more like down in with the sinker, you go up in with the four seam. You just try to get into this spot with the four seam. This is going to jam a lot of guys, and that's what happens here. So good job by Max. Little pop out. Can of corn. Fourth inning. Gonna get a punch out on a slider. Should be back foot. Yep, nice pitch. Perfect pitch. Look how long this is in the zone. And I mentioned his slider looks good because it's coming out straight. I mean, that's incredibly straight out of the hand, right? And then goodbye. The execution rate looks so much better on the slider here in the early going. So maybe the piano thing, there's something to it. Strike there. Going from Bo to Jimenez has genuinely been life-changing, especially since Jimenez is actually hitting very well right now. Yeah, man. Once you have a great defender, you can't unsee the bad defense you had before. It's like when Nolan played third for us with the Rockies, there's that up and in spot. Beautiful pitch. It's going to be a hit, but good pitch. Anytime Nolan wasn't at third, it was just so obvious because we're used to excellence. And all of a sudden you're giving me mediocrity. I'm used to excellence, you know? So you'll go ahead and enjoy that defense. It's fun to watch all year. Ooh, Troy thinks he clipped him there. It doesn't quite have that in the bag. 101 at 27. Fly out to Varsho. It's also nice to play in front of a great defense, to pitch in front of a great defense, infield or outfield. It's a treat. Every ball gets converted into an out. That's potentially could be an out, and you don't have to deal with any BS. All right, so lead off here in the fifth. Let's see how he gets going here. Running on the play. They're still gonna get it? Nah, I think he's safe at second, right? That worked out, though. I think he's safe, right? They challenged? No, they called him out. That was a double play. And then he gets Ritter out with a changeup. As long as you keep those fly balls towards Varsho, you're going to be good. Loving Jimenez at short doesn't hurt that he hits like Barry in April. It's also true. He literally rakes. He literally rakes. In April right now, he's been hitting. All right, heater here to McCarthy. Ground ball to Jimenez. I mean, God, what a shortstop. What a beautiful shortstop. What a monos. What a monos. All right, here's the one home run. It's Hunter Goodman. So if you're going to give him a home run, might as well be to the All-Star. Just an 0-2 hanger in zone. Right on right curveball. Probably trying to get a little fancy because he's feeling it here a little bit. And then that ball's just on a tee. 111 at 29. This is actually a freaking tank by Hunter Goodman. Good job, Hunter Goodman. Hunter Goodman homer, Drew Goodman on the call, probably. Damn, that ball was freaking touched. Can we get a good look at that? Boom. That must have felt good. Ball was demolished. All right, so solo shots never beat you. That's a Max thing as well. Every story told about Max just makes us realize he got the nickname for a reason. That's why he signed my jerseys. Sickos and psychos always win. Because that's Max. Maximus. All right, one pitch out here to finish the sixth and his outing. Another well-located slider, very important because if that was middle, that might have been a dinger, but instead he gets it off the end. Little pop-up to left. So great outing from Scherzer. 6 innings in his season debut. You know, I bet you're really freaking happy they signed him back now, considering what just happened with Ponce. I mean, Ponce apparently is man down with ACL sprain. I feel so bad for that dude. Holy shit, I feel bad for that dude. That is the worst possible outcome. First game back, and you're going to get hurt like that? That just sucks. All right, we got to reload this page. Too many requests. Don't tell me too many requests. Don't give me that. All right, we'll come back. We don't care about Max's stuff grades that much. All right, let me get in the solo shot. We'll look at some hitters here in a little bit, probably. I know there's still Soriano, Hunter Brown that we could possibly look at too. Speaking of low slot supinators, loving Fluharty's seam shift changeup looks like Scooble's grip from a low slot. Ooh, Fluharty's throwing seam shifted curveballs. Can we see that? I mean, changeups? We're going to look for one. Here's one.
Not sure Laswell was up to.
2.9, negative 11. Well, 11. Can't tell much there.
Something going away from. Down with
All right, he only threw one in the game. All right, what else we got here? Might be the easiest pick for #1 team defense this year. Well, Blue Jays and Cubs. Those two teams are going to battle it out. Those two teams are going to battle it out for sure. Varsho, the former catcher, doesn't look small, but he is only 5'8". To me, he looks tiny. I've always known he's a short king. Cardinals outfield is crazy too. They have nasty ones. It's a good point right here, NYM 348. Victor Scott is like plus in center. So I didn't see that, but that makes a lot of sense. You know, Max, you got to get out of Max's way. It's Max's day. You know what I mean? Goodman, best catcher in MLB. That's a bold statement. Right now, my order goes Cal Raleigh, Shea Langoliers, and then I'm not sure after that. I know Will Smith is up there too. They're saying Ponce out till August 1st. I'm so upset for him. I got bad news for you, Gelato Squid. A sprain is a tear. Doesn't mean he needs surgery, but he's got some type of tear. How is Max better than when he was with the Mets? He's not. The first year with the Mets, he was electric. Second year, he struggled, but I think that's when the injuries started to pile up. But that first year, he had a sub-3. He had a sub-3 for the Mets in 2022. He was really good. Can we watch Yohan Ramirez work out of a bases-loaded jam in the 5th versus the Reds? Maybe. Maybe. That's a random one, but yeah. All right, we got some stuff about Ponce. At least Ponce got the guaranteed money. I feel horrible for Ponce, but I'm glad it's a sprain. Chance to avoid surgery. Ponce, I think, heard it initially earlier in the inning when he fell off the mound, and the turf monster finished him off. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. All right, do we want to try to watch Yohan Ramirez work out of a jam in the 5th because of the request? I'm cool with that. Cool with that. So Reds, Pirates. And then I'm going to make another coffee and we'll keep going. Yohan Ramirez. He's got everything in every way. Ooh, 2 guys on. Bases loaded. Yeah, this is high leverage. I did see our guy Bubba Chandler had, what, 6 walks last night? Could have been the flat mound. What makes him nasty? Wow. What makes him nasty is also probably what makes it hard to command on a flat mound. Okay, check out this approach angle, right? So this is right on right. He is way over here on the third base side. Way over here on the third base side of the rubber. When he goes to release it, check out where the hand is. And the ball initially is like basically at equal length with the batter. So everything's going to look like it's going right at the hitter before sweeping across the zone. So this is what I used to do early in my career, right on right. And I stopped doing it because I want to throw backdoor sinkers, but it makes your slider devastating. So really cool trick there by Yohan. 1-1 count, going to go to the sinker. That was the pitch to hit. Doesn't hit it, pops it up. Now, if I see that foul ball and I'm pitching, I'm throwing a 4-seam up or a sweeper off the plate away. Looks like he goes for the sweeper. 1-2. And he gets the chase. That was dirty. 85 at -15. That ball trends towards the zone for a while. So that's the first punchy. Nice job there. Every team needs a fireman like this. You know, the Yankees use Fernandez Cruz. The Blue Jays like to use Varland in these spots. The Mets, I think, at the moment, I'm not sure who the Mets guy is at the moment. Is it Brazabon? But everybody needs a guy to kind of get you out of jams, be the fireman. So Ramirez taking on that role in this game with the Pirates. Does get to 3-1 on Ellie, so this is a dangerous situation. Let's see how he gets through it. Ooh, a sinker. Better locate it. Oh, and he gets him to swing at a ball. Ellie had to take a shot here. 4 points is really what you need here. A single will help, but 4 points would be nice. And then on 3-2, what's he get him with? Ooh, curveball. First curveball we've seen that he executes. Ellie's just got to control the zone better there. If you're gonna let it eat, the ball's got to come out in one lane, and it doesn't happen on either of these pitches, and yet he chases both of them for the strikeout. So I'll give Ramirez credit for not giving in. Great job by Yohan there, but also Ellie, pretty poor plate discipline there as well. So thanks for having us check that out. That was cool. All right, what else we got here? Max was great in 22 outside of the wild card. That's the only reason why people sour on him. True. Yeah, we had 100. We have 108 right now. 110 a minute ago. Good thing. Thanks for everybody hanging with me today. Bubba got himself into trouble with poor control, and Yohan saved his rear end. He sure did. He sure did. Yeah, flat mound. I've talked about this before. Let me just put Bubba on here while I talk about it. Talked about this before. But this mound in Cincinnati, whether it is or whether it isn't, because there's some optical illusions built in, it feels so flat. It feels like there's no slope and like you're throwing completely uphill, which in a way makes your fastball play even better at the top of the zone. Oh my God, you're not seeing this video. Makes your fastball play even better at the top of the zone, which is what we're going to see with this first strikeout from Bubba. But when you're used to having a standard grade to the slope of the mound, and then that's changed by several degrees, whether it's old Oakland, which was super steep, or Cincinnati, which feels super flat, that can mess you up because your foot is striking the mound, striking the dirt at a different timing than you're used to, and that can throw off your command big time. So I'm not gonna like totally judge Bubba for having 6 walks on the Cincinnati mound, first time he's ever thrown off of it. I believe it is at least, but he also could just be overthrowing, trying to do too much. You know, it's pretty jacked up for his first start here. Strikeout to open the game. But anyway, that's the deal with this mound. It's very flat. And if you look at the center field camera, ooh, Ellie just missed that. You look at the center field camera, you can kind of see it, right, guys? Doesn't it look really flat? I mean, this height is just not normal. So anyway, that's my thesis. This mound is flat. Go ask any pitcher who's been around the league, and they will agree with me. All right, let's watch some more Bubba strikeouts since we're here. 100. Gas. Gino. Changeup. This is my favorite Bubba off-speed. Love his changeup. Dirty. I'm starting to come around on Bubba a little more. I'm starting to see what people are seeing. Here's the double play that Bubba made. This is a nice play. Friedel tries the bunt. Bubba catches it. Snap throw at second. Ooh, that was really freaking athletic and good. This is so good. This is. I wish I had a play like this in my career. I have one play in my career where I doubled off a guy on a popped-up bunt, but it was to first base. The fact that he turned and slung this thing to second as well as he did was really nice. I'm starting to come around on him a little bit, though, because I do see the changeup as being a plus pitch. But I just got to see more. Anyway, look at the angle from here. Damn, that was beautiful footwork. Really tight turn, really short arm throw, really accurate throw for the double play. So you got to give credit there. Nice play. All right, Sal Stewart again. Going to get him with the changeup. Nasty. Will Benson, probably fastball. Nope, changeup. So all the strikeouts are fastballs and changeups that we're seeing. He's got a nice changeup, man. And if he locates it down, he's going to strike a lot of guys out with it. That's it. Too many walks, obviously, but I don't know. Another interesting guy to look at. Yeah, Bra's probably the long guy for the fireman for the Mets. I think so. Hard to see. Did you see Bassett throw the other day? I watched a little bit at the beginning of the game. It wasn't great, but I try to stick with the good stuff for the most part, you know. That's what we all thought, but you know what? I'm telling you, there's some differences. There's some differences. That Tampa mound is weird too in the Trop. Skeens today. That's exciting. Hey, Zero, what do you think's going on with the Sox right now? Honestly, I haven't watched a ton of them yet. You know, Suarez and Oviedo didn't throw very well the other day. Offensively, I saw Roman's in a little bit of a funk. They can't win without him hitting. So he's in a little bit of a funk. That's not going to help things. But it's early. Could MLB change mount height to increase offensive numbers? They're not doing it. They're not doing that. I'd be surprised. They're all supposed to be standard, but I'm telling you, they're not. All right. Bubba like a ballerina on that play. Yeah, that was sick. Oh, yeah, Logan Webb, you've been asking. You've been waiting. You have been waiting. All right, so Logan Webb pitched last night for the Giants against the Padres. Is that what happened? I really didn't watch any of the night stuff, so it's all a mystery to me. Yeah, okay. Giants, Padres, box score on Logan Webb. 6 innings, 3 runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks, 104 pitches. And Marquez only 3 innings, got kind of hit. 8 hard hit balls in 3 innings, not great. All right, Logan Webb. So apparently there was a mechanical adjustment at some point in this game after the 4th inning. So I'll try to see if I can spot that. 39 sinkers, 27 sweepers, 17 changeups. Did throw 12 four-seamers and 9 cutters. All right, Logan Webb. Giants. Pods. Mr. Logan Webb.
Starts 15.
All right, Cronenworth starts off this. So 3-0 lead right away is nice.
Solidly hit, but to the
Ball
back
short.
end,
Willie is there.
shortstop.
1 out there.
Everything moves.
Hit here from Fernando.
Line
Great swing.
for ball, down to the
Nothing to say about that. Great swing. In play outs. Sweeper to Manny. Ooh, bad pitch. Gets away with it. Popped it up. 3-2 walk. All right, so I'm just taking a look at the mechanics now. Wondering what he might change when we get there. I mean, he's opening way up. I know he always kind of does this. But we'll take a look once we get past the 4th inning and see what changed. Ball there.
the Padres' first
Sweeper here.
in the air to shallow right. Lee comes in.
Popped up there. There's a strikeout of Andujar. Here's a strikeout of Sheets.
Swing it.
And then here's a walk to Castellanos. Fermin. Good pitch there. Little ground ball. Here comes Willie. Tough play. But slow runner. 3rd inning. Cutter. So I think he gets in trouble in the 3rd or the 4th, right? First pitch cutter. Well, second pitch cutter gets a quick out. Wow, Schmidt barely got there. Fernando laced that first ball, walks him this time. Another walk here. So uncharacteristic amount of walks early in this game for Webby.
Line into right center field, a base hit. They will wave around Fernando. Throw is headed to 3rd base.
I think there is a way to do an overlay. Just have to try to remember. There's a way to do it on here. Once we get there, we'll try.
Payoff pitch. Goes again and a ground ball to
Pretty good jam
shortstop.
shop there.
Came out of the double
They let the
play.
run score.
Final score. So it's 4 walks.
First pitch
for Webb,
hit here
0-2
by
strikeouts.
Andujar.
And a ground ball, base hit into right field.
So the walks are abnormal for Webby for sure. 3 runs here in the 3rd. As the Padres looking to come back. 4-seam up to Sheets. That ball's hit pretty well, but right to Bades. 4th inning. Looks like the delivery still looks the same here in the 4th. Line drive there.
It's 75 for Webb. Line to right, and Lee moves over towards.
I mean, these balls are hit pretty hard. These are all liners.
On the ground to Arise at second base. A 1-2-3-4.
All right, here's where we're going to try to lock in. Definitely more deliberate with the wind up here. Like there's a look down It's like a 1, 2, 3 type of thing. Anyway, nice strikeout of Tatis here. Strikeout here to Manny. So he starts rolling here in the 5th, no doubt. Nice pitch there. Strikes out the side in the 5th. Front door sinker. Oh, perfection. Perfection. Nice pitch. 6th inning. Ground ball by Xander to Chapman. First pitch out to Andujar. Matty Chap. 2 outs. And then, so really, the 5th and the 6th inning he rolled. 3 up, 3 down, both of those innings. So if he said there was a mechanical adjustment, I wonder if we can try to find that. I think there is a way here. Yeah. We can grab a couple different plays here, maybe? How do I do this? How do I do this? Let's look at him when he's struggling here. Manny Machado walk. Select new at bat over here. Can I do that? Pitcher, Logan Webb, hitter. Okay, okay. So we just saw him strike out Tatis. A result, a strikeout in this one, yeah. Pitch 4 versus, so we're looking for fastball. So that's a fastball. This pitch is a sweeper. No, don't give me all sweepers. You suck. You suck again. All right, hold on. We'll go back to Tatis. Tatis, I think he got a hit on that first one. So we'll do that. Okay, how do we sync these up? Yeah, something with the delivery, with the way he's winding up. All right, look on the left here. Keeps his head on the target the whole way as he gets into his leg lift. There's him at balance. And then look at the right. Looks down, pauses, and then gets to balance. So it's something with that. It's something with his initial look. Just slowing himself down maybe a little bit. That's clearly the difference. I'm not exactly sure why, but I think he just needed to slow himself down and get to more of a traditional balance point to feel good. And it could just be an eyesight thing, the look away and refocus on the target approach. All right, so that's our first time ever doing that. That looked okay. You know, that looked okay. But he pitched pretty well. I mean, he had a bad 3rd inning there. You know, he's going to, before you know it, he'll put up an 8-inning no-run outing. I mean, that's kind of what Logan Webb does. So, sometimes it's just something within your delivery. And you know what? At that point, it looked like it was the very beginning of the delivery. So it's not always like something like while you're actively moving down the rubber. Sometimes it's just your initiation that then sets you up for success the rest of the way. So it's interesting. All right, what else we got here in the chat? Ayo, you know a lot about hitting. Is that because you used to hit as a pitcher you need to know that, or just being around the game for so long? Probably just being around the game for so long. I mean, I hit a little bit growing up, obviously, but I know about hitting through how to get hitting out, if that makes sense. And you got to be a student in the game. I listened to the hitters talk. I grew up. I came up in the minor leagues with a house full of hitters, so I was like the only pitcher. So I learned a lot of stuff through their eyes. But there's 2 sides to the game. Ultimately, what the hitter is processing, what they're perceiving, it really matters a lot when you're trying to face that. So I try to really embrace all that information. Based on that, a lower mound increases offense in theory. That may be the intention since they already have the smallest park. Maybe, but it's been like that for years and hasn't really done much. So I don't know. Hey, what successful pitcher that if you had no idea his stats, but based on his mechanics, you'd say no way he can succeed, past or present? Well, there was a little while there where I was skeptical of Chris Sale because I just thought he would get hurt throwing that way, but he did, but that wasn't really necessarily a thing. I've come around to change my mind on a lot of that stuff. I don't know. Joey Lucchesi is one guy that when I watch him pitch, I'm like, there's no way this can work. There's no way he even sees the target. There's no way he can locate like this, but he does. I don't know if that helps. Seems like Webb has a David Cohn type of windup. A little bit. Coney, I think, finished a little more closed, but there's that same rhythm, the 1, 2, and then go. So I can see that. Are you doing split screen on an iPad? Yep. I mean, the iPad is my thing that I screen share with. Who's the most technical hitter you ever heard in a clubhouse? Probably JD Martinez. I mean, there's a lot of them. Bregman, JD Martinez, Mark Hanna. Nolan can be, but JD definitely stands out, and the Mets just hired him, special assistant, so that should be a good thing. All right, we don't have a ton more time. I can maybe look at one more. I think maybe we should check out my guy Soriano because he's been the nastiest guy. Or do you want to watch some hitters real quick? Let's watch some hitters who had success last night. What was that list? Real quick? Who had a big day? Oneil Cruz. Do you want to watch Oneil Cruz's 2 home runs? Reds Pirates. I've been begging. What did I say on yesterday's stream? I'm like, Oneil Cruz, can you please show me something? Please show me something one time, buddy. Well, guess what? 2 home runs yesterday. So let's check them out. We'll watch the full ABs. First pitch, curveball, down, ball. Because I got to do a podcast right after this. Sweeper, ball. So left on left versus Mr. Williamson here. Breaking ball, cutter. So he gets himself into a great count. That's thing number 1. And then wham. Just misses middle in with a 3-1 cutter. How hard? 111, didn't even hit it good for him. 24 degrees. So that's the first one. I mean, we just want to see more of it. I just want to see you make more contact, Oneil. Because when you do, it's obviously special. And it's obviously just different. So there's home run number 1. I mean, you just can't get in a bad count and throw 88 down the middle to this guy. And then a first pitch home run off Pierce Johnson. Ooh, on a curveball. Good for you to sit on a curveball. That's what Pierce is going to throw. Damn, that ball's crushed. Really high. 108 at 34. That's what you got to do against Pierce Johnson. You got to sit on curveball the whole time and say if he throws me fastballs, he throws me fastballs. So. Man, my allergies are bad. All right, 2 homer day from him. And then we want to look at that Jose Fernandez 2 homer day. That's Diamondbacks and who did the D-backs play? Detroit. Diamondbacks, Detroit. This is the rookie. Have a freaking debut, kid. Have a freaking debut. 2 home runs in your debut. Casey Mize is the first one. Slurve ball. And then a slider. Smashed. Oh, that ball's touched. How hard? 104 at 26. Just a hanging slider. So first career dinger off of Casey Mize. Congrats, kid. Damn, that ball's smashed. Nice swing. And he got a hit his first at-bat, right? This is the first career hit. So he's going to hit breaking balls for each of his hits in the first 2. Oh, it's an infield hit. Third baseman didn't charge hard enough. All right, and then the last home run's off Kenley. This was a big home run in the game. 2 outs in the 8th, facing the legend. First pitch, cutter, strike. Second pitch, cutter.
Here goes Alec Thomas.
Ball. Third pitch, cutter, homer. Oh, goes with his delayed delivery. And hey, not phased the first time he sees the magic cutter. Takes it out to left center for a game winner. 3-run homer off the legend. 101.6 at 31. That's a little bit of a difference. I talked about good ballparks to hit in. Great ballpark to hit in Arizona. Balls fly to the gaps. Infield's fast as concrete. Really good batter's eye. Really good place to hit. So huge home run there. A little bit of a flub on the handshake with Perdomo. But nice swing off Kenley. Very good guy. Very tough guy to homer off of historically. So great swing there by the kid. Let's see it from the side. Man, he stays really flat with his shoulders. Pretty flat, which you have to be to catch up to that Kenley cutter. Because again, the Kenley cutter is so unique. This is an alien pitch. 18 vert, so incredible vert, plus it goes 6 inches to the left. That's a super cutter. So, tough pitch to hit. All right, who else was in my top performers list here? Those are the first two. Adames 4 for 5, and then Yordan. So Willy Adames, let's watch his at-bats. 4 for 5. As they need to get hot. They need to swing the bats a little bit, the Giants. Although now they've won 2 in a row. Maybe Tony's message is working. All right, Mr. Willy Adames, 4 for 5. Let's watch these at-bats with the homer. German Marquez, oh my guy. 93-7, first pitch strike, 86-mile-an-hour knuckle curve homer. So that's how this game starts. He just goes and sticks to that, but definitely got barrel. Puts it right down the line. Oh, one of the cheapest home runs you'll ever see, but it is a homer. 96 at 33. Marquez is like, am I in Coors Field? Where am I? I thought I got out of this situation. Man, he knew it, though. Gone. All right, next at-bat. First Marquez.
1 out, 1 on.
Fastball down, ball. Yeah, I read this too. I read this article this morning. Looks like it was McCann and I don't know whether it was Nolan or a couple guys telling him a little bit about Kenley's cutter and what to expect. And hey, he followed instructions. Infield hit there for Adames. This at bat's versus Kyle Hart. Sweeper strike. Sinker ball. Splitter away.
Don't throw hard. You have to throw that.
Another pull towards that hole. This time Manny should be able to make the play. And he does. It's amazing how comfortable Manny is making plays like this. Like, how does he know how much time he has? How does he know?
Machado spins and fires and gets it.
Crazy. All right, and then he's going to get hits these next 2 times. Hart again. Splitter. This time takes it. This time he stayed on it a lot better. To be honest, he pulled off all 3 of those first at-bats. But he stays on this one, lines it up the box. Nice swing. 100 off the bat. And then the last at-bat versus Estrada, who's filthy, but I think has been struggling to open the season. Fastball up. Fastball up. Do I think Kenley has a Hall of Fame case? Absolutely. I think he should definitely be in. I think he's, what, 4th all-time in saves? Ooh, he's going to get him on that Vulcan split. Another one where he just lets it travel and floats it into left. This is a part of a lot of guys' games. It's really good if you can do it. And Adames, you know, got really rewarded for riding some pitches out in this game. Yeah, just kind of delaying the bat just enough to stay on a slow pitch. Nice job there. All right. Yordan was the last one. Red Sox and Astros. Yordan had a nice day, 2 for 3. All right, versus Bayo. I think Kimbrel's right there too. I think Kimbrel, Chapman, and Jansen are all have good cases. I do think that Chapman and Jansen are separating themselves from Kimbrel a little bit with the longevity piece, but you know, Kimbrel's prime, his highest of highs is actually higher than the other 2, so it's tough. But I think they all have a pretty good case there. All right, here's Yordan battling with Bayo. Bayo started throwing that new downward breaking pitch when the last time I saw him in spring, and I was very impressed with that, and they gave me hope for him. Because he needed something. Otherwise, he's going to be a little exposed versus lefties, I feel like. All right, there's a double. Just misses a home run. It's super deep out there. 106.7 at 25. This is just a classic. He just threw it down the middle with 2 strikes. Can't throw this pitch to Yordan. Obviously, he's not trying to, but yeah, just right down the middle. Not going to get away with that to this guy. Even with Sadon back there, they don't make that play. And then here's the homer. Let's watch the at-bat of the homer. Change up.
With 2 doubles and a home run.
Yeah, I don't think you can either. Those guys, I mean, of their time, they were the most elite guys. All right, so he gets to a 1-2 count. Tries to double up on changeup. I like his dreads, his braid dreads. Fouled away. 1-2. Ooh, curveball. Just another mistake. Just doesn't get it down enough. He had already been slowed down, so Yordan's already in lean down mode anyway. I actually think zipping a fastball up would have made some sense here. But if you get it to the ground, you probably get the chase. He just doesn't get it to the ground, so. Yordan, man, he just, like, you can't make mistakes with him. 110, destroyed. It's good to see him back healthy and playing. He's making a big difference. Without him, I do think the Astros would stink, personally. So, I do think that. Sorry if you've answered this question a million times. We've always wondered why you were so slow to the plate and what kind of adjustments you tried to make. I want to make a video about this one time, like detailing my entire evolution in this space. But you know, the short answer is people just didn't steal for most of my career. It was like analytics said not to steal, so people didn't steal, and it really helped me to have a slow, deliberate delivery, not only for messing with the batter's timing, but also just for me to stay back and be comfortable in my delivery. There actually was a stretch where I was good at shutting down the running game. If you go look at 13 and 14, like really good at it. But then when I reworked my mechanics coming out of a bad year in 17, it was definitely slower from that point on. But it made my pitches a lot better. So it was a tough thing to deal with as the stealing started coming back into the game. But there was also a stretch there, even as recently as 22, where on paper I allowed a lot of stolen bases, but only one guy scored the whole season. And really what it would be like is if that stolen base didn't matter, I'd usually just let him go. But if it did matter, at that time I could step off, I could hold the ball, I could make them call time, I could pick off 7 or 8 times, I could really grind the game to a halt and basically make them not go. Once they implemented the 3 pickoff maximum, with the third one being a balk if you don't get them, that completely ruined me. Then at that point we had a closer distance between the bases because the bases are a little bit larger. We had a limitation on number of pickoff throws. We had a limitation on how long you could hold the ball because there's a pitch clock. So all those things completely doomed me. And then I had no ability whatsoever to hold the runners. And I knew it, and it sucked. And I did try to work on it. And the number one thing I came up with was I need to have a really good pickoff move. If I have a pickoff move that's 1 flat or better, that will keep the runner a little bit closer. It'll put a little indecision in their mind. And when I practiced, I could get down to 1 flat. But in the game, I couldn't. In the game, I struggled with it. I felt like I was tipping it a lot. It was in my head a lot. It affected my ability to make good pitches. So usually when pitch came to shove, I would say, fuck it, just focus on the batter. Not a great answer. Obviously it made me less valuable as time went on, and it hurt. It hurt to have everybody stealing on me or the ability to give up a run without a hit in an inning because of steals. And that was something I hated. And I tried to be better at it, but by the time it all got changed on me, I was pretty set in my ways. So that's probably the answer. Okay, here we go. He was trying to make him chase low. He just messed up. He just made a mistake. More of a physical mistake with location there. Do you want a golden retriever or a Rottweiler? How I view the Lovelady Kimbrel debate. I don't think Kimbrel's the same anymore, guys. I think he's probably cooked. That's why he's not getting jobs anymore. Kimbrel was electric when he threw 95 plus, 96 plus. He's not really at that spot right now, so it's just hard to say. What pitchers flirts with balls too much? I mean, Senga is my main thought with this, although I feel like he's doing a little better now. But it's hard. You can't flirt with the strike zone. You got to live in the strike zone. All right, time for probables. This has been a nice little stream today. We've had a great attendance. A lot of people have dropped out, but I have to go get on the Baseball Isn't Boring podcast here in a minute. So we got a lot of day games today, getaway days. So some of these games are starting. This one starts in 15 minutes. Oh, flirts with balks. Verlander flirts with a balk. Check him out next time he pitches. He barely stops. I don't know. Not a lot of guys, but there's some people with some balk pickoff moves. I think Taiwan Walker's pickoff move is sometimes a little balkish, even though it's elite. Cueto, Greinke. Those guys don't play anymore, but similar. All right, probables for today. Some good matchups today. Severino and Sale, A's at Braves. This is the rubber match in that game before the A's finally go back home for their home opener. Rangers, Orioles, Evaldi, Rogers. 2 aces. Great matchup here. I love that. Pirates, Reds, Skeens, Abbott. Look for Skeens to shove today. Skeens pitched poorly on opening day, although he got a little screwed by his outfield play by Cruz, and he just was generally not as sharp. A couple things to keep an eye on with Skeens. Number one is he using his breaking balls? Does he have faith in his breaking ball right now? Is that a weapon for him, or is he just going to be fastball changeup split for the most part? Very curious to see that, but as I mentioned when I was on NBC, like, you don't want to be the team that faced Skeens after a bad start. He should shove today, and he's going up against Abbott. Nationals, Phillies, Cavalli, and Sanchez. This matchup heavily favors the Phillies. Sanchez is the man. Rockies, Jays, Freeland, Gosman. This should be a fun one. A lot of day games today. This is coming up in about an hour. Sox, Marlins, Shane Smith, and Sandy. Sandy looked great in his season debut. We covered that. His season is important to see how he looks for trade purposes, or if the Marlins are going to actually be in this thing. Mets, Cardinals, Freddie Peralta, and Matthew Liberatore. So this is a pretty good pitching matchup. It's crazy. Freddie gets traded to the Mets, and he immediately faces two teams he's faced a ton from the NL Central days, Peralta and Liberatore. Rays, Brewers, Rasmussen, and Mizorowski. So good matchup here. Mizorowski was electric in his debut. See what he looks like today. This is crazy, the amount of pitching in this game on today. Red Sox at Astros. They turned to the ace Crochet to go ahead and get them their second win of the season. He was on the mound when they got their first win of the season on opening day. So that's what you pay the ace for, to be the stopper. He's in there versus Burrows and the Astros today. Angels, Cubs, Kikuchi, and Boyd from Wrigley. Tigers, D-backs, Skubal back on the mound in Arizona versus Zach Gallen. So nice matchup here. Let's see if Skubal can get out the gate as hot as he'd like to. Giants and Padres, Hauser and Pavetta. So opposites here, sinker versus four-seam guys in San Diego. Padres looking to not get swept here. Yankees and Mariners, Cam Schlittler, who was unbelievably dominant in his first start versus the Giants. Let's see if he does it again. And George Kirby going up against probably his hometown team. Not sure if he was a Yankee fan growing up, but he's from Rye, he's from around here, so he's probably was. Twins, Royals, Joe Ryan and Noah Cameron. Very classic AL Central matchup here from Kaufman. And then tonight, our finale in an outstanding matchup, the ace of the Guardians, Gavin Williams, going against the ace of the Dodgers, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So Dodgers looking to win that series, Guardians looking to win that series. That's the rubber match. And that's a really good slate. We got aces all over the place. Williams, Yamamoto, Ryan, Schlittler, Kirby, Pavetta, Skubal, Gallen, I guess Boyd, Crochet, Mizorowski, Peralta, Sandy, Gosman, Sanchez, Skeens, Abbott, Rogers, Evaldi. I mean, these Severino, Sale, these are pretty much all aces or ones or twos. Obviously, it's early in the season, so that's why it works out that way. But yeah. All right, I gotta run. Have a great day. Have a great Wednesday. Thanks for the hang today. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Thursday, for another edition of Baseball and Coffee. Enjoy everything today. Definitely a revenge game for Skeens. He's gonna go reclaim his throne. Love that. You guys are the best. Thanks for hanging with me. Go watch my painter video. He was very impressive, and I think you'll see why. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, have a great time. See you guys. Have a great day.